Okay, guys, it's been a few weeks for your boy. A lot of things going on, waiting for new heat to come out, a lot of delayed shipping, not a lot of these reps to compare for you guys. Um, but we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of a throwback here. These released, I believe, last December. These are the Jordan 1 Low Travis Scott poo-poos, as they call them. Sorry, I just had to say that. Shouts out to Santana for that one. That was funny. He made a comment when I did the photo comparison of these Travis Scott Velvet Browns, and he showed that poop emoji. Y'all knew what time it was, so big ups to him for that one. It's true. But with that though, we're gonna get into this in just a moment here. But like I said, guys, there's been delays with shipping for obvious reasons concerning the tariffs and so forth. Everybody's privy to that. We're all waiting to really see what's going to go down with China at this point. We're not backing down in the US at the moment. They're not backing down in China. We shall see how things go. Um, and let it be. So the authentic box is here to the right, rep is here to the left. Here you can already see, yeah, there's damage. That's how it came. Got it off trade block, actually. So I accepted it with the damaged box. Didn't bother me none. Just wanted the authentic pair to do this for you guys. I could have done this a couple months ago, but I didn't. Just didn't have the urgency to do it because a lot of people are indifferent about the shoe. A lot of people like it. A lot of people don't care for it. Um, and it is what it is, right? Buy what you like at the end of the day. I like it. I think it's a nice day-to-day shoe. Um, but the replication is extremely, extremely close. You'll know when we get into this, guys. I mean, it's getting scarier and scary out there with this stuff. So resale on a size 12 right now is like 3 to 350 ish window I'm giving. So it's still by far not a cheap shoe per se. Is it a ridiculous resale price? In essence, um, I would say 400 or better is when we're getting way up there, when we're starting to climb the ladder. 300, 350 range, if you really want the authentic that bad, a lot of people just say, yo, I'm just going to go ahead and drop the 350 and call it a day. Um, but let's get into this. This is an easy pair that a lot of people can get scammed on. So we're going to keep it moving, and y'all know how we do. We're going to start with the boxes, the outside box labels, so forth and so forth, and then we'll get to the shoes. Let's go. Okay, guys, let's get to it. We got the authentic to the right again. That's the one with the crushed lid, and we got the rep to the left here. Let's compare the boxes. We got a darker mocha color here on the lettering and Nike swoosh, much lighter here on the actual replication. However, that doesn't mean, if you notice that if some people doubled up on pairs, oh, that means you got a fake from, with a secondary seller or something like that. No, that's not the case. I actually have doubled up on the medium olives, and the actual mocha colors were different. One was darker, one was lighter. But again, it's just a tactic to allow yourself to decide if you're comfortable to buy this product off the secondary market. So also, there's a little bit of a size difference on the lid, as you can see there, lengthwise, no question. Here we go, got a different mocha color here in the internal lid, a lighter here, darker here. Nike swooshes are there. These little, yep, the swoosh down there. Yep, upside down and so forth as it's supposed to be. But lid codes are here, or box codes, whatever you want to say. They are the same exact numbers as well, guys. So I'll let you know ahead of time. So not so easy to call this stuff out, at least by looking by the box. Sometimes you can, but a lot of times you can't. Let me get rid of these. Hold on, guys. Okay, pink internal tissue paper. Let's go. Here's the authentic. Here's the rep. Pretty close. It's just like a lighter shade of pink here, but not too different. I'll be honest. They did a very good job replicating it here. You can't even see through it. A lot of times, the internal tissue paper on the reps are translucent. Here, you see there's just a little bit more of like a shine to it versus here, but Got to be honest, nearly identical. What I can say is the Cactus Jack faces are not as bold. Like you see here, you see how this one looks? And you see this one here? See how it's like a thicker um, width to the face? Like it's just like all bolded out, right? Versus here, and it's thinner. So like a thicker print. Here we got a thinner print. Air Jordans nearly matching up. But yeah, tough call here. Obviously, white internal tissue paper in the rep. And we got the white internal tissue paper in the authentic. Get that out the way. Pull the paper out. Here we have it again, that darker color mocha here on the authentic. Lighter there on the left, no question. Put those to the side. There we go. YDM stickers are on here. I'm going to take a look at both of them to see if there's a difference. And yeah, the only difference I can honestly tell is the authentic sticker is much more translucent versus the rep, which is white. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something again. Doesn't mean you have a fake. I know I start getting a lot of comments. Oh, my YCM sticker looks like this. Oh, the color tone of this and that. It's going to fluctuate, guys. Again, these are just tactics to allow you to feel more comfortable when you buy this stuff on the secondary market. All right. Let's look at the rest of the box here. We're going to get into the box labels in a moment. 85 Air Jordan 1. 85 Air Jordan 1. Again, just having a look here. Let me make it simple for you guys. Authentic, rep. Okay. Again, there's that darker mocha, lighter mocha color. 85 Air Jordan 1. Nike and swoosh name, Nike and swoosh name. So it's nearly identical. The print is bigger on the Nike swoosh here versus here on the rep as well. Yeah, we got some differences here. So looking at the authentic here on the right, rep here on the left. Yeah, it's like interesting. Just minor color tones. This is a coffee color tone. Here it's not. It's just white. Text is legible, nearly identical, except too bold and big on the rep to the left here. These match up, just a darker mocha. And now let's go ahead and get into the box labels. Okay, so here is the authentic box label. As you can see, ends in 714 for size 12. Dark mocha black velvet brown. Air Jordan 1 low OGSP. You can try your best to memorize these details. Gonna have a look here and we'll see if they match up. But we do got a nice bold color here. Got that element under the sticker, that RFID chip thing. Let's go to the rep. Okay, so here we are with the rep. Now it does have an RFID behind it. It has it. You see here the outline of it and it going under. Crazy work, guys. 714 UPC ends in. So does the authentic. OG Jordan 1 low OGSP. DM7866202. Dark mocha, black velvet brown. Everything matches up. The information that's on the label matches up. Everything's spelled correctly too. So this would definitely scan on StockX, no doubt. Let's keep it moving. Okay, guys, before we get to the shoes, we're going to get to the laces, the additional laces that come with it. Now, these are the authentic to the right, rep to the left. Remember to pay attention, watch these videos carefully, guys. I don't put a bunch of captions in the rep here, the authentic there. I don't even waste my time with all that stuff. We're right here. You watch with me, you're going to figure out this stuff. So anyway, authentic pink laces, replicated pink laces to the naked eye. They both match. We have a little bit of difference of the embossment of the word, sizing, and logo there. Even Nike, has defective stuff, as we already know. You can barely read the word move the zero here. all that stuff typical here. It's clear on the rep. All right, let's have a look at the velvet brown laces. Again, shoelaces, embossment. Here, much better. Now compared to the rep, the move to zero is a bit more embossed, looks a bit clearer. Jumpman does too, and the words and lettering. Don't have to spend all day on this. It's really hard to even get people to authenticate the laces and stuff because that stuff is a dime a dozen. In all fairness, any factory, whatever, they can make these laces. The boxes, those little accessories, they'll nail every time. But let's go ahead and get into the shoes. So as you guys already know, authentic on the right, rep to the left. Let's get to it. Here is the authentic shoe that I have in my hand right now, okay? This is the authentic right here. Let's have a nice look at it. See that nice top grain leather here on the swoosh. See how the hook looks. Swoosh hook. See the upper materials. You see how the mudguard here goes up, slopes up right there. Just showing you key things to pay attention to. You see the rear, Jumpman logo, Jumpman Jack logo. Got this little bit of fading here right below it. Believe me, they replicated that too. See how the swoosh. See how they got sporadic holes there on the authentic. All right, let's look at the rep here. Rep is on the left. Authentic is on the right. Again, rep is on your left on the screen. Authentic is on the right of the screen. Let's look at the toe boxes. You can already see the authentic to the left is a bit underscaled. Having a look from above, see it's a bit wider right here versus the authentic to the right where I say it gives more of like a torpedo shape, more narrow toe here. Also, what's interesting, the material on the replication here on the left is actually, it's like a thicker suede. Here on the authentic, it's a thinner suede or nubuck, whatever you guys want to call it. Now, also darker sock liner on the rep here to the left, lighter on the authentic to the right. You can actually even see, before we get to them, the insoles here. Look at that light brown insole there on the authentic. Look at the rep to the left, too dark. So you guys can use that as some sort of an authentication technique as well. See here, looking at the Nike Air. Again, authentic on the right, rep to the left. Minor differences with the tag. Cactus Jack, authentic on right, rep to left. Very similar and close. You see here, the asterisk nearly touches the stitching. Here it doesn't. We got a different color midsole, guys. Looking here at the authentic to the right, look how much darker that midsole is versus the replication to the left. Let's look at the swooshes. So yeah, we got a bit of a difference on the swoosh here. Swoosh is smaller, underscaled. Shape is nearly that of the authentic, but not quite there. Also dips down a bit further than the authentic. Stitching nearly identical on the swoosh hook. It's just a little bit of a bigger stitching on the actual replication. Again, looking at the lace holes, they're smaller on the rep versus the authentic. See here as well. Okay, you see the velvet brown is a bit different here on the rep to the left. Again, swoosh hook is a different color too. Much darker here on the rep. And smaller. Again, the rep is underscaled, so it's just smaller. And don't be shy to call stuff out in the comments as well, guys, to help people out there too. Things that I might not see to call out. This is always done on the fly. Okay, looking at the stars, not bad. Very close to the authentic to the right. They're pretty detailed too. They're just underscaled and smaller than the authentic to the right. Again, we got the cactus going down here under the swoosh. They do the same there as well on the rep. Looking at the authentic here to the right versus the left of the rep. Again, close. Nike is bigger on the replication here, definitely. Pretty interesting. Okay, again, authentic on your right. Rep to the left. Just having a look-see here. Again, anything you guys notice I don't, call out in the comments. But again, this rep is pretty close, guys. And now we're going to go ahead and get into the other shoes and see what we're working with or the same things. All right, so let's go ahead here. We have the authentic right shoe. Have a good look as we've seen previously on the other shoe. On the other authentic, you see how the mudguard protrudes up. See the swoosh here. Rear, again, there's that faded spot here below the logo. So authentic on the left, and this time the rep is on the right. Something I want to show you that's a giveaway as well with a lot of the Travis Scott lows. This is where we get into this whole thing of, they're not making this stuff in the same factories, all that nonsense. And I'm keeping it real with y'all. It's just not like that, because here's what they do. Now, this is the authentic, right? This is the rep. You see here, we got the darker, lighter sock liners. Now, I'm going to turn these around. Here's the authentic. Here's the rep. You see how much thicker the sock liner is here. Look at that. It's literally night and day. Looking at a Travis Scott low by itself, to me, that's the first thing I go to. If it's super thick like that, it's a no-brainer for me. Here, look how much thinner it is. That's a drastic difference. So anyway, let's get to it. So the remainder, again, authentic on the left, rep on the right. Again here, we have the darker brown midsole, lighter on the rep. Again, the actual swoosh on this one is not too bad, but again, since the shoe is underscaled, the swoosh is smaller than this swoosh here. Okay, they got the same glossiness effect. The texture or the top grain is similar. Let's see here, looking at the toes again. See here on the authentic here to the left, it's more narrow. Here it's a wider toe. And again, that nubuck or suede or whatever is a lot thicker. Looking here at the tongues. Again, similar. Pretty close. Pretty close. Again, just a little more of a glossier shine on the authentic, right? Let's see here. And yeah, it's night and day here. We see some serious differences in the color. So see here on the authentic, it's like you got the nubuck in certain spots, but it ain't here. You see how flat this here? They included the actual nubuck. See that? See the differences? So I'll be very honest, wouldn't notice that, period, if this shoe here was by itself. Swoosh a different brown too. It almost looks black. No, this is brown. But it's close. There's a giveaway, guys. That's pretty crazy. And let's flip it. Authentic on left. Rep on right. Again, just a little stronger. More of a nap on the nubuck or suede here. It's flat, right? Pretty interesting. Again, got the bigger Nike here and the smaller there. And we're only noticing this stuff because we're comparing them right with each other. I want to check one thing here. Yep. Interesting. Pretty much the same here. Yeah, see the difference? So I'm just showing this again to emphasize the difference, but it's not as different here. Like, yeah, here around the swoosh, it's a lighter color than it is here, and not as much of a nap. But those are the subtle differences between these guys. So just be careful out there. Like I said, um, it obviously was much more apparent from this shoe to this shoe, and even the brown of the swoosh being different. We got more of a nap here on the authentic here. It's just flat. Yeah, same here. Got a nap on the swoosh there. On the authentic here, just flat. So again, stuff that's really hard to see or tell unless you got the authentic with it. But let's go ahead and move forward, y'all. All right, guys, we made it to the blacklight test. Let's get to it. Authentic here on the right, and the rep is on the left. Top tier, of course, from the top. We're not seeing anything drastic, no guidelines of any sorts. Let me highlight the rest of the authentic here. Yeah, I'm not seeing any watermarks. Let's look at the bottom or anything like that. Same thing here. Yeah, I think we're going to be good to go on the authentic pair. Nope, not seeing anything out of the ordinary. Let's have a look at the replicated pair. Oh no, don't die out on me. Look at that. Ready to go. Let's go here. Nope, not seeing anything out of the ordinary on the rep. No guidelines. Super top tier here. Looking good. And let's have a look at the other shoe. Hopefully the black light doesn't die out on us. No, nothing out of the ordinary again. So they pass, the reps pass the blacklight test. So the black lights definitely help a lot of times, but when they do this good with no guidelines or ghost stitching, whatever you want to call it, um, yeah, a lot of things are left undetectable at that point. Let's go ahead and keep it moving, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and have a look at the actual shoe trees real quick. Again, here is the authentic. Let's have a look at the rep. If we can get it out from under this lace here. There we have it. So we got a little bit of a different textured cardboard. And yeah, they just got different texture and print here versus the rep, which is, to be fair, it is clearer, a lot more legible to see what you're reading. 12 to 12.5, but yeah, these are the differences. I don't think we need to show the other shoe tree, to be very honest. We're just gonna see the same thing. Now let's get into the insoles, tags, and lasting boards and so forth. Something else I wanted to call out real quick, look at the laces. These are the velvet brown laces, and you can clearly see here, difference in color tone, that's all. The velvet brown here pops a little bit more, like brighter. Here, just a little bit darker. Let's keep it moving. Okay, guys, we got the authentic here to the right, rep to the left. You can clearly see color is night and day of the velvet brown or mocha, completely night and day. That's why you want to be careful saying this stuff is the same exact thing and things like that. Because when things like this arise, and I don't want to hear, oh, there's a better rep out there. I mean, I get all that stuff, but the reality is, the details matter. The details matter. And let's keep it moving. Okay, guys, let's compare the lasting boards here. And one thing I've always noticed, looking at the authentic stitching versus the replica stitching, the replica stitching is usually a thinner thread. It's took me a while to really tell that difference, but I've known it's always been a thinner thread. And the direction pattern of the actual stitching, it's slanted, it's straight, it's slanted, then opposite direction versus the authentic to the left, which is um, to that level. It just stays slanted all the way around as it goes. So that's something major I've always noticed. Now here with the tags, um, the authentic versus the rep. The rep obviously different production date. It does have the correct factory name, the XB. Now one thing that the tags are always wrong about, and I think this is how they authenticate too. This is always why, like check app and stuff, they always want the actual tags, is because the serial number below the Chinese sizing is always wrong on the rep. It's always different versus that shoe size that's authentic every time. So that's something else you can look at for sure. But just one of those things. Let's keep it moving. All right, guys. So thanks for hanging out with your boy. That will conclude this real versus fake. Hopefully this helps some people out there not get scammed, or some people that bought these shoes already on the secondary market and they want to make sure, obviously, they didn't get hit with the okie doke, right? It happened to me before when I bought shoes on the secondary market, not from any major platforms, just, throughout time, the beginning of my sneaker interest and career, I made some wrong decisions. But again, as those real versus fake videos help me, I hope these help you. With that, make sure, check my description, guys. If you guys got any questions for me, you can email me. Also, follow me on IG. It's all in the description of this video, guys. And we're going to leave it at that. Till the next. Y'all know what it is. We out.